first stream ever.
Ever.
Now we can read the streaming policy, right? Now that we have started. But before we do, I have some information to bring to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go to the video producer, right? On Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the video producer? Thank you. Now, if we take a look at the video producer, the stream from yesterday has gotten 19 views, apparently. Nice.
That's insane.
I don't know what happened to the August 28th stream with the 33 whole ass fucking views, but it is how it is.
That was the one where you added VTuber as a tag.
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you.
No, that was that the one I added VTuber as a tag? I don't know actually. It's a 3-hour long one that we just had like, I don't know, whatever. The point is, we're famous now. Now we can read the streaming policy. Who
Look,
reads
Mama.
this? Inferno, you read, please. It's your
Why?
turn, right?
It's your game,
generation.
Seven. It's your game. Hello.
I made this game or something? What the fuck do you mean?
No, Red Hollow made this game. He was a part of the
he should be the one
team.
reading it. I'm gonna ping him.
Yeah, but he's not here right now.
Okay, well, what do we do now? Do I just
You
have
read
to read
it.
What do I mean?
Rock, paper, scissors. It's your game.
What do you mean it's
Rock,
my
paper,
game?
scissors.
What does that mean?
It's installed on your computer.
Well,
You're the one
okay.
streaming.
You know what? I'm gonna install a bunch of like albums from like Queen or like the Beatles or some shit, and then I'm gonna say it's on my computer, so it's my music. How about that? Wouldn't
That's not how
be very
copyright
fun?
works. That's not how copyright
I said
works.
it's my
bro.
game.
Bro, yeah, but it's installed on your computer.
Whatever.
Rock,
I think you guys don't know how copyleft law works. I think you guys are very bad at the game.
That's different.
I don't think you guys will ever be able to spin the glass, just saying. Streaming policy. As a development team, we have no problem with full playthroughs of the game, whether recorded or streamed. However, please be aware that the soundtrack contains numerous licensed tracks that may trigger automatic copyright detection on various video platforms. This may result in issues with video monetization or audio muting in VODs, but should not negatively impact your channel as a whole. Okay, now we continue. Inferno, read.
No.
Okay, I guess that's enough Sekimeiya for today, everyone. We're done streaming.
We're done streaming. Man, that was such a good. That was such a good time.
Yeah, how long was that? That was like 3 minutes. That's some big gaming time, boys. Such a shame that we didn't finish chapter 1 today.
Bro, I don't think there's an end for chapter 1. Just saying.
I think they forgot to make the other chapters in the game.
Bruh. I can't believe there's more than one chapter and we're halfway done.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Are we like halfway through the game yet? Are we?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
says
we are.
almost 14 hours. So
Well, here's the
we're
problem.
getting there.
Hear me out. Is it because we have actually reached the halfway point, or is it because we take so long to read the fucking game and progress so slowly that we're like 1/4 done or something? Which one is it?
Both.
Oh god, we're so fucked. Anyway, Inferno, read.
Fine.
Peer pressure. Let's go.
After more than an hour, I stepped out of the room and viewed the scenery of the Alec again. Oh, I like the song. It sounds peaceful.
Wait, you guys can hear
Rare.
the song? Why can I not hear the song? Hold on.
You are so bad.
I'm so bad. Okay, now I can hear it.
Then I entered the other bedroom and kneeled to see that both handles were still there. 7 read.
7. I can't. How?
Oh, that's enough Sekimeiya for today.
Yep.
7 read.
Hold on, I just closed the window for a second.
Now, what is this song? You said it was peaceful. What is this good song?
Yeah,
I
fucking
thought it was.
poor music.
Yeah,
man.
peaceful, man.
They should replace the entire soundtrack with a Kamoshida theme. That would make this a good game. I mean, I could
Go, go,
probably
go,
do
go.
it. It's a Renpai game. Shouldn't be too hard on picking it and changing like the files around. With the same screwdriver as before, I put them in place. I turned both to test if they worked properly, and I removed the key that Kate had left in the inner keyhole. Finally, I put it back in the drawers where we'd found it, along with the screwdriver. Remember this? From my pocket, I took out the key to Naomi's locker.
Oh, you still had it?
Yeah, I used the cabinet key to hide it, which Akro and Sai must have left with later.
I think so. If they need to use the Sekimeiya, that might have been why Akira was in such an odd state.
Most likely. If he wasn't lying, we could have been lucky at times we traveled since nothing happened to us. Maybe Akuro and Ayla suffered from a side effect. Like before, Shiroya went quiet at the mention of Ayla. It had been quite a while since we'd learned about her fate. By the way, is that me, or is this smell from earlier back?
Oh yeah, now that you mention it, it's very similar to the one all around the crystal floor.
Kate comes back, he's like, oh guys, sorry, I farted.
He hasn't showered in 8 years.
True. I can't tell where it's coming from, and it's not easy to perceive.
I moved around to see if getting closer to the source would be noticeable, but I felt no change.
I spent a while going over the way Akro and Sai could have escaped, but I focused on the fact that the key had been left in the outer keyhole. However, even though Akro escaped again, the chain was left intact.
I know. I think we should go down to see what happened with the Sekimeiya. We could come across the person who opened the door for Aqua inside too.
Alright.
We hadn't inspected Akra after he'd come back, so it was possible he had a key on him. Despite that, he couldn't have left with the chain set when he exited. We took timid steps out of the bathroom, as if an invisible net was still pulling us in. Once we were in the hallway, the first thing I did was enter the kitchen.
It's been so long since I drank anything. I bet you're thirsty too. We should have anticipated it.
Yeah, I tried to drink water when I went to the bathroom, but it wasn't very good.
Did you try to drink the toilet water or something? What do you mean it wasn't very good?
I opened a cabinet to grab a glass. That water wasn't my preference at all, but it would suffice. I turned the water, filled up the glass, and quickly took a sip.
Oh, what the? You're right. There is no way this is drinkable.
Imagine if they drank blood.
Oh god.
I grimaced at the taste. Grimace milkshake?
Grimace milkshake. Why do you think it tastes like shit? Why do you think it's not very drinkable?
Not much water had flown out of the tap, but although it was pretty transparent, it wasn't something I could drink. It had slightly alleviated the dryness, at least. I left the glass on the countertop and went to inspect one of the many things we had to check the living rooms for.
Look at this. I can see different pairs of footprints going between the entrance and the hallway, and there are many more under them that have degraded a lot. It's too hard to conclude anything from them, though.
Evan, this is you.
Oh, it's me, right. Erna and Kate had just left, so the two pairs might have belonged to them. As I looked at the footprints more, I realized that at least 3 different pairs were distinguishable. One set was fairly small, another was medium-sized, and the last was the biggest. In addition, the smaller ones were older. Huh. Are these Isla's? They can't be, right? And I think they're a bit too big.
Wait, look, the elevator door is shut. I walked back to the hallway and saw that the elevator was back in operation. After the many hours it had been spent stuck in the attic, someone had chosen to re-enable it. I wonder if Erna or Kate had done it. What it meant was that the footprints wouldn't reveal the exact number of people who'd entered or exited the attic. We wanted to understand what had gone on while we'd stayed on the bedroom, so we chose to walk down a floor.
That's
Ah,
3, 4.
four.
Ah,
That's you.
He
GG.
is so bad.
GG. The other key was still at the door. The vessel that still inside the 6th floor, which contrasted the comfort of the attic, was a stark reminder of how things have progressed since the morning.
I think we all should do a 100% orange juice stream again.
It would be fun.
I want to play that game.
We should
Zen?
find Sai.
Oh.
He has to be somewhere, and he couldn't know what happened to Akuro.
I'm not sure he'll willingly talk to us after what he did. If he's still around, though, we'll find him.
The same applied to Akuro, and there was a possibility one last person was to be found. Had Erin imagined her dead daughter's yells, so had there been some truth behind them? After everything we thought, we couldn't fully rule out a living Isla being present around us. That's 2, 3,
4,
isn't
7.
Oh god,
7.
I keep losing the lottery. We monotonously circled down the floors, like we'd done many times. We didn't waste time looking through the partitions, as making it to the crystal floor was our priority. Although using the elevator would have been expedient, we wanted to stretch our legs and at least give a cursory glance to the drab center of the tower. After moving down 3 floors, an unexpected sound interrupted the overwhelming silence. It was the elevator, moving through floor 4.
There it is again.
We were in front of the elevator, but the opaque door didn't reveal any information. I wish the button would light up when the elevator's moving. I doubt Erna and Kate would have used it already, no matter the reason. I'd say it was probably someone else. We hadn't tried to open the door in the attic, so we couldn't know the direction it had been moving toward. However, it was likely that it had been used to move from one of the extreme building to the other.
We would have gone back up if we'd known that the elevator hadn't been in the attic, as it would have guaranteed that it had been moving up. Instead, it took us a few seconds to circle the outer corridors until we were by the staircase leading to floor 2. There, the sound repeated, but it was much harder to notice.
Again?
It's only been a few seconds, so the first time, someone must have called it.
You're right, yeah. So either someone called it from under us and they just went up, or the opposite. I wouldn't think we missed someone above us, so I say the elevator was going up like this last time.
If you were to find... No,
My
this is
bad.
me. If you were about to find an empty crystal floor, we'd go up again, since the attic key hadn't been removed from the door. Unless the elevator key had been called from the attic, it could have only reached floor 6. Of course, assuming another key hadn't been used, but it wasn't likely one existed. Knowing that it still could have been going down, we continued heading toward the crystal floor.
Shortly, we were in front of the stairs that led to the dark place where everything had started. I'm so good!
7. 7, go.
Jover. There was no revealing sight that immediately met our eyes. The floor spread out in front of us exactly as we remembered it. In hallway A, the light had begun to find a path through the dark barrier and bounced off the walls and more than it had been the last time I'd been there. The strange smell hadn't faded since we'd been in the attic, and it had started to seem like the natural scent of a tower. It wasn't unpleasant, only intriguing, as I couldn't associate it to anything I'd ever smelled, and we couldn't identify its source. Let's see. At our left was the elevator. I approached it and grabbed its handle. With little force, I attempted to open it, and there was unexpectedly no resistance. The door moved, uncovering an empty elevator, and my mistaken assumption was going down? Was there someone above us who we didn't see?
If so, they must be here now. That had left me more confused than I'd anticipated. While it was possible that someone had gone up and down from the crystal floor, or that they'd sent an empty elevator down upon arriving in the attic, Shiraya's claim was the most probable one. However, if we'd already missed someone on the upper floors, they'd probably stayed away from us intentionally, so using the elevator to reveal their existence was a little strange. I moved aside, trying not to obsess over it yet.
Before any of that, we should check if the Sekimeiya we left in the cabinet is still there.
Yeah, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Who's this?
We stepped into the hallway air. The cabinet key had been taken by Aqua on side, so no part of me expected to find a shiny unit behind the curtain.
Egg.
We entered the other room, and I approached the cabinet, seeing my expectation would be betrayed twice in a row.
It's not there, right? It's not there, right?
No. I can't wait to find so I can hear the excuses they'll come up with. Before I let the curtain fall...
I wish he just said no.
No, and then that's it. They're leaving.
That would be pretty funny. Before I let the curtain fall, your curtain falls! I tried to scroll the glass open, and it moved along with my fingers easily.
He tried to spin the glass.
Yes.
Yep. But the glass was not
Roll
spun.
credits. The cabinet was definitely unlocked with the key, so there's no way the Sekimeiya just teleported itself out.
Isn't it a little strange?
What is?
That they didn't lock it again. Maybe it's not, since it's obvious that Aqua inside did it, but I thought they would have done that to not give away so easily that the key they'd grabbed had been used.
I'm not sure. They could have been in a hurry, but they must have known they'd be suspected regardless.
Seven.
I know, hold on. However, the glass had been spun, not showing any signs of a hurry.
Spun.
And despite that, the
Spun.
cabinet hadn't been locked, which could also have been done manually. It was possible that there was more to Shiraya's input, but we had no way to be sure.
Earlier, I thought that they were maybe taking the Sekimeiya out so that the cold wouldn't affect it. If that was the case, I'm pretty sure they would have locked the cabinet to prevent us from putting it back if we found it.
There are other cabinets with temperature functions, but I think you're right. I'm sure they could have taken care of the others in different ways too. I suppose it's time to check our Sekimeiya.
Maybe they could have taken it, but it might have started working. Do you want to activate it?
I don't know. It might be dangerous, but nothing happened us to the other times. It sounds very reckless, but it can take us to the past. If it started working at some point, we might be able to go quite a few hours back.
If that happens, you won't appear in the tower, because there's no way we missed ourselves from the beginning. It could put us outside instantly.
Technically, we could have been in the secret partition of the storeroom. You're right, though. It could take us out.
Seeing it like that, it was a lucky chance. Does Sekimeiya have the power to kill us, erase our memories, and free us from the tower? Could it even let us see Mia again? I hadn't made up my mind. If we had the chance, activating it would be tempting, as it could let us understand this mechanic and what's been going on. Undecided, we exited through hallway B.
Directly all that was the staff room, housing our own Sekimeiya. We couldn't feel the presence of anyone else when we entered it.
A body has been discovered, or something.
Remembering which locker belonged to Naomi, I stepped toward it while Shiro stayed by the door to alert me of any sound. I took the key out of my pocket and inserted it into the keyhole. 2 fingers, I turned in to undo the lock. The sharp sound told me that I'd been successful. Why was that so hard to say? I turned it to undo.
I turned it to undo the lock. Yeah.
I gently opened the door.
Lastly, I removed the key, which opened the metallic door at the same time. I saw the narrowing teal with the code hanging as we left it. Then I raised my line of sight to reach the higher compartment.
It wasn't storing anything. Its interior contained nothing but an empty space waiting to be filled. My dumbfounded look persisted until the realization fully sank in. Hey, this is the right locker room, isn't it? We left it up here.
Yeah, is it not there?
Look, there is nothing.
The Sekimeiya grew legs and disappeared.
Yep, it just left. Even opened the door.
The Sekimeiya
Yo,
spun
guys, this-
door.
Yo, guys, it's me, the Sekimeiya, I'm leaving.
Hello guys, it's me,
The
Eminem
boring-
here doing a Sekimeiya review.
Boring game, and he just leaves.
Read! I'm about to read.
Yuri, that's you. Hello?
I forgot. She approached me with a neutral face, not a slight hint of surprise emanating from her. By that point, something truly impressive would need to occur to evoke genuine shock from us. We felt like we'd seen it all.
We definitely left it here. Was it still locked?
Yeah. We let out exasperated sighs. We had kept the Sekimeiya hidden so that nobody else would find it, but it seemed that it had decided to spite us and disappear. Even though it hadn't made us travel before we'd left it, it evidently did have powers, as nobody should have been able to take it out.
Did it teleport like Sai's been saying?
Well, he and Akro couldn't have taken it.
If it did, we might know when. We've never seen the two Sekimeiya exist at the same time, but it should have happened at some point, when one supposedly appeared in Sai's hip pack, right? I nodded, unsure. Even though the two Sekimeiya might have existed at that point. Excuse me. Even though the two Sekimeiya might have existed at that point, they had to be the same one, and one had traveled from the future. Sai told you that he didn't know he had it and that he'd never put it there. He could have been telling the truth. At that point, another Sekimeiya existed inside the cabinet room in B3, and we used it to travel all the way to the past. If it can randomly teleport itself, it could be traveling to the past as well. After all, when we came back to that room, the Sekimeiya in the cabinet had disappeared after the point I'd seen it gray.
Right, but we thought Sai had taken it.
You could have traveled to the past, to Sai's hip pack. I get Sai's own existence is another mystery though. After that, he hid it in the cleaning room. Next, we hid it in this locker, but at some... You're good. Next, we hid it in this locker, but at some point the same thing happened. It teleported to the Highway A cabinet with Isla. This time, it didn't even have to have teleported to past. It could have simply teleported. Then, since we brought it here to the event room, Akira and Sai could have taken it with the key. This could also explain how it was stored. Also explain how, at the start, it appeared in the storeroom.
It's been a few seconds in all.
So, is it disappearing randomly? There are a couple of things I'm not sure about.
Giga Chad Sekimeiya disappears when it wants, doesn't care.
This
Yeah, you
is
have
one
to-
plot
yeah,
convenience.
Yeah, you have to pass the Sekimeiya check. If you don't pass, it disappears.
True. When somebody does something so sekimophobic, you just teleport away.
Disappeared. You know what? That's adios. That's the adios mean.
Whoop, 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 and it just goes away.
Can't believe Kati said something so sekimophobic.
Can't believe that Sekimeiya has a fucking reversal DP.
I'll be right back. You guys read it, okay?
So, with this disappearing randomly, there are a couple of things I'm not sure about. Even though it... Oh, my bad. Even though it
You're
could have
so bad.
teleported to the storeroom, the cabinet in the event room had been unlocked, implying that one of us had moved it. I suppose it's possible someone hid it in hallway B and then it teleported to the storeroom, but that's hard to believe. And then there was one unexplained thing I can think of. The first time Ilo disappeared from the cabinet before reappearing again. Nothing was found inside it, and so the Sekimeiya couldn't have teleported from this locker yet. And we're done with the Sekimeiya for today. So,
Where's the Sekimeiya for today?
where's that fucking Nekowak dancing meme? Hold on, I can work dancing if I found it. I'm gonna put that in the stream. Image. Actually, we can just add a browser, I believe. Actually, no, I think I should just add an image. Beautiful.
Oh, something else is needed to explain that. Yeah, I guess Sekimeiya could have traveled from the locker to another place, not they activated, and then they traveled again to the cabinet with Isla.
That's one way to put it together. I think everything holds up. Anyway, if the Sekimeiya was actually taken from here by someone, it's very possible that they put it inside Isla's cabinet. Honestly, it feels a bit strange to think that it's been teleporting itself through time at random intervals.
Well, how else could it have disappeared from here? There's no way this lock was picked, right? Well, they didn't pick the lock, but Akuro smashed the lock!
Yeah, true, that's like the answer to everything.
Anime 7, this is you're reading.
True. After thinking about it, I spotted a couple alternative paths to take. The door was still locked, so I highly doubt that the lock picked was the lock. Fuck. The door was still locked, so I highly doubt that the lower door. So I highly doubt the lock was picked and then set again. Only one thing would have been needed to get the Sekimeiya out of here if it disappeared out of the way itself: the key. Duplication can be easily achieved by traveling to the past, since two versions of yourself exist at the same time. I'm still not sure about everything you can do with it, but it can work with objects, as we're also replicating our clothes after traveling. I don't believe that ever happened to this key, but it's not out of the question. Since the time we found the first Naomi up to this point, we'd never traveled through time. Before that point, we don't know. While the mystery of the second Naomi is as unsolved as ever, she didn't have any keys on her, which makes me think that her keyring wasn't replicated alongside her body and clothes. But that's not necessarily the truth. The main reason why I think that is because of the initial footprints in the attic, and because her keys weren't removed the first time. There could have been a reason for that though, and the culprit might not have had a replica of Naomi's keyring from the start. It's even possible that an entirely different culprit killed the second Naomi and grabbed her keys. They would have hidden them somewhere, so after how much we've searched, it's impressive if we still haven't found them. Since we've searched everyone before locking ourselves up in the attic, it can't be that someone still had the 4 keys from the second Naomi at that point. While it's possible, I don't think another key like this one exists. I'm inclined to believe that the second Naomi never had any keys on her.
Yeah, so nobody could have opened the locker.
No, we could have. We have the key, so we could go back to the past and unlock it.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess so.
But this can't be it. I spent a while thinking about these kinds of loops, and even though they seem possible, I find it hard to accept them. If we go back to the past and get the Sekimeiya out of this locker, would the origin be that we realized it had happened? Would we be choosing to explain this mystery in our own way? Even if we go back to the past and get it out because we realize that. Otherwise, Saya Okuro will do it. The fundamental reason will still be that we've witnessed the end result already. On the surface it sounds possible, but I don't believe it is.
This is 7.
Shoya kept looking at me with a strange face. Perhaps listening to me toss out these words sounded bizarre, as we've never had conversations sound remotely similar to that.
You're still saying that there's no other possibility, right?
No, I'm saying that right now there is likely only one. Someone else will grab this key, go back to the past and use it to unlock the locker.
Oh.
Such an abrupt response made me laugh. I might have been deluding myself a little, but I thought I'd reach that conclusion through semi-logical reasoning. I shook some thoughts away and closed the locker without locking it. Then I left the room and told Shreya to follow me.
Get owned Inferno.
Oh my god.
He is so bad.
I entered the woman's bathroom. Hey yo.
Yo!
Waited for her to come. She looked at me quizzically. I opened the toilet, dropped the key inside, and flushed it.
There it goes. What are you doing?
Yeah, it seems I was wrong. Perhaps I'm taking myself too seriously. The universe didn't break, and I doubt the past has changed. My theory involves someone else using the key to go back to the past and taking our Sekimeiya, so this was an easy way to deny that reality. It appears the answer was another one though, meaning that the Sekimeiya vanished differently.
I'll be right back again. It could be teleporting itself.
Bro, that's literally what we said.
Maybe it's just becoming invisible. Who's this?
This should be you.
It should be me? How?
Yes.
Explain. Okay, whatever. We went
Because
back to the staff
because I read last time.
Okay, sure. If, against all odds, my action had changed the past without breaking the universe or altering our memories, the locker would be locked and we'd have no way of getting the Sekimeiya out. I stepped inside and tried to open it. I'd left it unlocked, so it opened. Once again, the winter coat was the only thing inside. I brushed my hand through the higher compartment just to make sure that it wasn't actually going invisible or anything. I shrugged and closed the locker, unable to lock it anymore. Still, nothing.
Well, Sai seems like a bottom feeder, so maybe you flushed the key into his own.
Wait.
Base, to be honest.
Okay, but you
That
know
was
what'd be
kinda
fun? You know what'd be... Actually, wait.
What would
Hold
be
on.
funny?
No! No!
What?
What?
I don't think you can go back to the previous scene, right?
Well, we can.
No, jumping game. Okay, hold on. I want to do something funny.
Okay.
Wait, why is Shiroya not there?
Bring up Shiroya.
Br-
Mods, bring up Shiroya.
Okay, keep...
Okay, she's
no.
back.
There she is.
No. Okay, wait, hold on. I need a bit.
Skibidi toilet.
Mods, bring up Shiroya.
What
Okay,
was that?
can you also...
Can I also what?
undo the text? Make it so we only see Shiroya?
Sure. Actually, I
Amazing! Wow, mission complete. That
Well, my
right there is
bad.
why you're the
I
best.
clicked the wrong mouse key. My bad, everyone. Okay, we're here.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Now we can continue.
Yeah,
Now
hold
I'm
on.
gonna
Before-
just-
Before
I'm
we
gonna just-
continue, can you
very
bring
funny.
up? Can we bring up the text log?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Now, can you type on the search bar sex?
Not
Unlucky.
found.
Unlucky. I swear that scene was somewhere.
Yeah.
Kiss? Man.
This is so sad. No Gex, no Zen. Brazenly hidden.
Brazenly
We remained
hidden.
pro
Yeah,
Zen.
now
for a
press-
long time. Huh?
Nothing.
Now press what?
You can see the line code. It was 3254 out of 402.
4-2
What?
right now.
Is that every single like text that we've seen so far?
Yes. We have read 4,259 lines.
Isn't it? Indubitably.
Sonic.
Indubitably. Sonic?
Okay, go.
Did I spell that right?
That's not how you spell a word.
This is so sad.
You literally messed up the first letter.
Okay, I think we've had enough.
Seven go.
This is so
No,
sad.
actually, no,
Yeah, but
yeah,
you're
there's
doing something, right? Yeah. Seven go.
Okay. I exited the room without revealing that I'd been about to consider something similar. I smiled slightly to myself and looked around the hallway. I guess we should try to find the others. We have to be close to someone.
Yeah, let's see what we come across.
After longest time, we put into action the usual procedure. We began with the cleaning room at our side. Next was the crystal room V6, found on the opposite side.
Atsuki, the Sekimeiya is on the floor.
It hatched! I
It
did about to
literally
move
hatched.
into the next room, but Shreya's casual voice stopped me in place. I turned around slowly. It's like the stone grinding sound as you like turning around. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
To see her nodding at my disbelief. I approached the door and looked through it. It's right there!
It literally is there, guys. Egg.
egg.
In the front of the cabinet was the Sekimeiya, lying on the floor in glowing white. Once again, Shiroya had found it as soon as we'd started the search.
What the fuck, yeah. That's so sudden. Who would leave it there?
Nobody. I bet someone activated it, disappeared, and then didn't come back. I thought of Akro's case. If he'd forgotten having traveled from that room, he wouldn't have come back. Similarly, if someone had traveled and appeared outside the tower, the Sekimeiya would have just stayed there. We walked up to it with guarded stances, like it's like they're they're about to fight it. The sight was very reminiscent of an obvious trap with a lure, so we instinctively scanned the empty room before stepping in. I kneeled, hid my right hand under my sleeve, and stood back up, holding the Sekimeiya.
It's definitely working. It burns.
What do we do with it?
We make an omelet. Who's this?
It's Inferno.
Inferno?
Hold on.
Go, white boy, go!
I can't hold it for very long due to the heat increasing rapidly through my shirt. I started to walk toward the door as I thought about
Dialogue?
it.
Either we use it or we leave it in its cabinet. There's no point in hiding it again if we're not gonna ever activate it.
It might have been dangerous, but greed and curiosity were powerful. In my hands, I had the key to every mystery. I thought we had given up on understanding it, but if we figured out how to use the time travel device before it was exposed to the world, it was undeniable that the options could be endless. But why am I speaking like this?
Okay. Given what happened while we were in the attic, it seems likely that whoever took the Sekimeiya was the main culprit behind everything. Despite that, they simply left it here, probably after using it. They haven't come back for it, so that could be a hint to their goal, or their failure. Regardless, it was probably what activated recently, so we shouldn't go too far back. Just enough to understand what went down while we were in the attic. Also, I don't think it's as hot as it was in the past, so depending on how far we go, we could confirm that correlation.
Alright, let's see what happens. 7.
She moved closer to me, implying that she wanted to be on the range too. It might have been a horribly bad idea, but the Sekimeiya's existence felt nothing short of a miracle that otherwise we'd regret not taking advantage of. It could have been about to doom the entire world, but during those 12 hours we had it all for ourselves, and a race to understand it might have been happening behind the scenes. We hadn't inspected the whole building yet, so the possibility of having traveled to the recent past was open. I took my left hand out of my sleeve and brought it toward the Sekimeiya
Here we
with the intention
go.
of further figuring out its mechanics. And what had occurred outside of the bedroom walls?
Uh-oh. As soon as I felt the direct heat on my fingers, I saw a door.
I saw a door.
Back here? Wait, the handle is attached. I heard a sound coming from behind me. As soon as I turned around, I saw Shiroya climbing down the ladder.
Did you just appear there?
Yeah, we traveled from room B6, right?
Yes, and look, there's the handle. Either we went more than an hour and a half into past, or just a few minutes.
Shiro and I slowly scanned the place we traveled to, but we didn't spot anything else noteworthy. We'd appeared in the bedroom where we'd just been. You said it didn't feel as hot as the previous times, so probably the latter.
Because Sai is not here, so we don't feel the heat.
She was right, meaning that we weren't going to see what had happened while we'd been locked up. However, every single travel revealed plentiful factors to analyze. Comparing them with the earlier travels felt like the best way to get to conclusions. So we were probably the guys that called the elevator just a second ago.
This is my fourth travel, and again, nothing bad has directly come out of it. I don't know what happened to Isla and Akuro, but I doubt the mere act of traveling is bringing any danger. Boring our game.
Inferno.
Okay, wait. Can I ask something else?
Sure,
7.
I'm listening.
Actually, no way it won't work. I'm trying to do something very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm gonna try to show you.
Okay. Are you gonna make like a screen share or something? Okay.
Look at what I posted.
Well, Simon seems like a.
Yeah, I don't know how to get rid of the lighter texture.
I mean, you could just try to pick that part and just make it darker.
Yeah. You could
How
make
do
like
I make
another
it
overlay
darker?
layer with like the
I
black
don't
with like a
know.
transparent black color. And just like try to match it or something.
Then you know how to use Photoshop. Should I just give you do? Should I just give it to you?
Sure. I can do it.
Hand over the screenshots to him and he can make it. Watashi no namae wa Kira Yoshikage. Let me fix the stuff in the meantime.
Here you go.
Okay, I thought you were gonna send the layers, but this works fine too.
Okay,
a
this is
second.
a lot better.
You read in the meantime.
Well, I'm not sure if paint on that stuff works with Photoshop.
I mean, it's just images that you'd be exporting. It's fine. Just you read for now.
Actually no. I can send you the 2 images I used to layer.
Well, if it doesn't work, I'll mess with that. Sure.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum,
Okay,
bum.
wait. I don't have them. It's fine. Whatever. Wait. Okay. Regarding my memories, I summarized the basic events in the case there was a glaring contradiction she could find.
Is it me? God damn it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all that's happened. Unless traveling affected our memories in the same way, there's nothing wrong with what you said.
I'm starting to think more and more that Akuro lied to us. He reacted to the mention of the Sekimeiya, but that could have been intentional, to relate his memory loss to it and make it more believable. I feel that Katsei was right, and he was trying to prevent us from leaving. After his job was done, he must have escaped somehow.
How though?
I don't know, but I can come up with a little idea. We had the key and the chain was set, that makes it likely that he teleported out. I thought perhaps Sai did that. Maybe he traveled next to the door to encompass Akuro and make him escape since neither of them could open the door. It could be that he made us go to the upper bedroom so that we wouldn't travel with him. I don't know why they do any of that, but there's not much else I can think of. Actually no, Akuro could have escaped all by himself and left the chain set. Maybe he suddenly disappeared from the room, traveling to the past. Then, in the past, he activated the Sekimeiya to encompass the bed on which he was sitting. It wasn't necessary for Sai to do that as long as Hisako had thought of it.
That must have happened before someone traveled to room B6 then.
Who's
We
this?
walked out. When I looked at the living room, I instantly recognized that our own footprints.
These are definitely ours, and they're very recent. We went a few minutes to the past.
Someone must have used the Sekimeiya very shortly before us. We can't see what happened, but we can be sure of that.
And if Akro never actually escaped the way I said, it's possible they went very far into the past. We spent a long time in the bedroom, so there was a lot of time for the Sekimeiya to store. You know, this could have been what Akro and Sai worked together to accomplish. The stored time was originally Sai's idea. Akro's job could have been to keep us from exiting the bedroom, letting the Sekimeiya store the time for a while. Once they'd waited the required amount, they activated and went far enough into the past to exit the tower. Since the Sekimeiya was left on the floor, it's possible they aren't here anymore.
And they couldn't simply have waited more before escaping the bedroom because the Sekimeiya was in the cold.
The Sai we met, the one that had the Sekimeiya on his hip pack. I feel like that Sai is either from very far into the future, or he is from the other timeline that I mentioned. I have a bit of a hunch on that. I think that's why he was acting so weirdly. Something must have happened that made him suspect Atsuki for something.
Sus.
I think he's
Dun 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 dun. Da da dun. There was still the disappearing Sekimeiya in the locker to explain, but that'd be the only thing.
I genuinely have no idea who the culprits are.
I mean, Sai and Akro kind of sound sussy right about now.
I mean, they're making them sussy because they're not the culprit.
Honestly, I still think it's Kate.
The Kate hate.
I don't know, man. I don't think Kate's smart enough to execute this plan. I think he's too stupid. I don't think he's smart enough. Neither is Akuro.
Akuro smash!
He's too dumb. Both of them are too dumb to accomplish this plan. Either Erna is like a secret super genius who's been just pretending to be a Karen this whole time, or it's fucking Atsuki, or Sai. Those are like the only likely people who could have done it. I
don't know why I thought it was so funny. I know that Erna was a Karen.
It is likely that the culprit is just the alternate timeline version of Atsuki. So, an Atsuki that Atsuki himself is not aware of. Either that or an alternate version of Shiroya. I don't know. I feel like that's like the only feasible explanation for everything. Because Atsuki seems like a pretty smart guy so far. Yeah, Sai seemed to be having fun, so exiting the tower doesn't seem like something he'd want to do. However, they did this right after discovering the storeroom's secret exit. I believe that as soon as they saw that, they'd realize that they could go back many hours of time, find that door from the outside and try to enter and exit with the Sekimeiya. They might be about to attempt to return, since doing it earlier would have made their own travel impossible.
Let's go down and keep an eye on the Sekimeiya. It's a bit hard to believe that everyone's goal isn't to escape with it.
So the next step is finding out the ratio of Sekimeiya. So let's say it waited for 1 hour. How much does that make us travel? 30 minutes is like half the time. How much is it? We'll have to figure that out next. I think. I don't think it's half the time, but you get what I mean. The Sekimeiya charge up to the time traveled back rate is what we're looking for, I think. At this point.
You're looking for something, alright.
That's what I would personally look into at this point in time, as if I was asking.
I don't know.
7, you narrate.
Oh god. I nodded. Shiroya rushed to the elevator and called it after seeing that the door wouldn't open. Huh. This happened again.
What?
The elevator, remember? We were the ones to call it, it seems. This also happened at the beginning, during my first travel.
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
It's coming up. meaning that it was below us when we heard it on the office floors. We're going to the crystal floor, where we saw it had arrived. Then,
According to her, she'd called it without realizing that she was about to cause the noise we'd already heard. The belief that every event had an origin point was reinforced once more, as she'd unconsciously reenacted the past. Us seeing the elevator had derived into traveling to the past, but the action of calling the elevator had an organic origin. Not only that, but we'd covered every single sign of life we'd experienced, so we had to seriously wonder what happened to Sai, Akira, Erna, and Kate.
When the button lit up, she opened the door and we boarded the elevator. Without a second thought, she pressed the
Elevator?
floor 1 button. Yeah, I don't know why, but I like talking.
he's British.
I'm British. British!
Romanians are the Brits of the EU. They're no longer in the European Union now, so like,
They're no longer their peace.
we needed new Brits to compromise.
We need new Brits. Okay. Well, it started to move down. We once again experienced the claustrophobic atmosphere that the dim light and opaque door was effortlessly created. We soon passed floor 3, where our past selves must have found themselves wondering who was inside the elevator and where it was headed. We weren't in a big hurry, but we knew that we would soon appear on the crystal floor from the stairs. I thought of what to do to escape our past field of vision. Our past FOV, even. 7 is you.
We entered the event room from hallway A, and after seeing the empty cabinet, we looked inside Naomi's locker. We should go to the lobby, where we won't be seen.
Oh, 2 screens? That's you,
screens.
Inferno.
No, I literally just read!
Yeah, and then it was 7, and then the
then
second screen
you.
was... Yeah, and then it skipped the second screen, it was 2 screens.
No!
It was.
Yeah, it was.
I will bring up the
It's
fucking
you.
VOD, Inferno. Don't make me fucking do it. Read,
No,
white
no,
boy.
no, open up the logs
Okay.
and jump up to that one.
This one.
Yeah. Skip.
1,
1,
2.
2. There you go.
That would be 7, 10. Well, yeah, but it stopped at this screen.
Yeah,
It's you.
which is you.
It's
No, it was 7.
Then it's you.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
I'm all but a bit confused here.
What is bro's problem?
Bro, it's 2 screens. It's Zen. Because it skipped
Yeah,
7.
it's 2
and then-
screens.
and
It's
then-
2
and then-
screens.
no, it stopped at you.
It's 2 screens. What is
It's
2 counting from 7?
But I read.
Yeah, you read, and then 7 read, and then it skipped 2
No-
screens.
no,
What is
he
2
didn't.
after
No.
7?
7 did not read. He
Yeah, he
wasn't
did.
narrating.
It was 7 reading.
He wasn't narrating though.
Yeah, he was.
No, it was me narrating.
It was 7 narrating.
No, it was me.
7, go.
Oh my god.
It's actually
This is
Yuzen, by
10.
the way. I just want to join in on insulting Inferno. It's actually Yuzen.
Oh my god.
It was an Inferno. A new screen came. It was me. Then another screen came. Then it was you. It's 2 screens.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it stopped here.
No, it was 7. 7 was narrating, 2 skips past, and then it's you.
No, I was narrating.
7,
You
can you
wanna-
just read?
How about now? Okay, fine. It sounded like the best idea, so we moved there and closed the hallway eye door behind us. Even though there wasn't much to be tense about, we felt safe staying there. We began to mindlessly move toward the metal shutter. Yo, let's go! I'm so good. Screw you guys.
Remember what I thought the time you appeared in the living room? It seemed as if we'd appeared where we'd been in the midpoint of the time travel.
Yes, and this time something similar happened. I noticed it too.
I think it might have been the opposite. You appeared on the lower level of the bedroom, and I was upstairs next to the hatch. Those exact positions occurred before we unlocked the bedroom.
Right. I followed Kate down and you peeked from the hatch when I was already below. That might have been the location.
And that probably happened a bit more than 10 minutes before we touched the Sekimeiya. Then we discussed whether to leave, place the handles back on the door, walk down to the crystal floor, and talked about the Sekimeiya vanishing. We might have appeared where we've been.
Oh
10
my
minutes
gosh,
prior
Roy
to
has
traveling.
dialogue! Look at this,
We
it's a whole
very-
paragraph in here.
Why are you so surprised? She's been quite talkative for a while.
No, but look at, most of the lines so far have been like these two like fucking lines. It was like one word at the start, then it became like one line. Now it's like 2 lines of dialogue. Now it's like
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, holy shit.
No, she's had plenty of this before. She'd become talkative, you just haven't been paying attention to the game.
No, untrue. Poof?
Untrue.
Sorry, Shiroya doesn't matter in the game. It's even if she did it, it's because she is a bad character. It doesn't matter. That's why I must have not have noticed. If Kate was speaking, I would clearly notice. For your information. I would be like, oh hell no.
We might have appeared where we'd been 10 minutes prior to traveling while only having gone back 5. It's the opposite of what I thought regarding the last travel. Swap the 2 points, although I'm not sure if the times fit that well.
That could be it, but it's still not consistent with any of the past travels. If there aren't set rules, there's no point in trying to understand how the Sekimeiya works. However, what's most important is that, once again, a past position was used to determine where we appeared, even if it was done differently.
Sure.
We heard a distinct sound coming from OAA made by a door.
That's us. Literally us. We entered the event room.
We waited, and seconds later, the same sound came from OAB. Unmistakably, a closing door had created it.
Now, we're in the staff room. We'll travel very soon.
We thought we only had to wait until Shiroi became aware of one thing we'd missed.
Hey, look at the floor. There, isn't that blood?
What? What? We reacted the same way. Okay, literally me. She was pointing at a spot next to the hallway door. From afar, I could see a tiny red spot, close to the cleaning bucket. Both of us walked to it, and as the sight became clearer, Shiroya's interpretation proved to be right. A single drop of blood existed on the spacious floor of the lobby. It's definitely blood. Where the fuck is it? I don't see it. Where is it?
I don't see it either. Yeah, where
The fuck is it? Is it like so small? Then where's the magnifier glass app in Windows?
Shiroya has the glass of I am a tiger, bro.
Bro.
You notice this shit.
Bro thinks she's a microscope or something. Like what the fuck? What's the tool? Hold on.
Magnifying glass?
No, it is a microscope. I'm stupid. I was correct the first time. Anyway, I don't know, man. I think the devs like forgot to put the blood on the floor. It's definitely blood.
How could the second man just do this?
Sekimeiya blood. It's just white. I can't believe they made
It's
this
like-
game in China, so it like blends in with the white floor tiles.
They try to make it like Danganronpa, but they try too much. Instead of making the blood pink, they made it white.
Yeah, it's like Chinese anime censorship, you know? They made this game in China.
They did. The contrast with the shiny white floor was immense. I looked around the entire room, but the drop Shiraya found was the only one I could see. Fortunately, it was enough to tell us something very important.
Seven?
Almost dry. It must have been here for a while.
Oh, specifically that part of the floor?
Huh? From when we looked up in the attic, blood dripped off somewhere. Akko didn't look injured when we came back, but that doesn't mean much. Isn't it strange that it was left here? If someone was in a hurry or being chased by an attacker, they wouldn't have cleaned it, but I feel like the culprit would have done it, right? Perhaps not evidence worth cleaning up, but it tells us that something happened.
Blood can never be a good sign. I feel like this is a place where evidence would be removed from since it doesn't have security cameras.
Who's this? Me?
This is Inferno.
I stared at the single drop of blood.
Seven?
I know.
Something about it was intriguing. While it wasn't a puddle, it was fairly wide. It wasn't a single drop that would come out of an innocuous scratch. Despite that, there was only one mark. Since any wound that produced a single drop of that size would keep bleeding, it was likely it had been covered to prevent further blood loss.
Aaron and Kate must be somewhere, but they can't have anything to do with this. Even though Akro didn't appear injured, it's possible he dripped blood before traveling to the past, which could have undone a recent injury.
After saying that, a thought came to me. Is the Sekimeiya reconstructing our bodies? We'd asked ourselves that question many times before and had found a way to answer it. Abruptly, I put my hand in my rough pocket and felt something. I took it out and showed it to Shiroya. Is that Sekimeiya?
I don't know. Ah, that's for Naomi's locker. Did you appear with it after traveling?
I must have. I flushed it away before touching the Sekimeiya, but since I had it when we were in the bedroom, I appeared with it in my pocket. Like we suspected, the Sekimeiya has been replicating our past bodies exactly as they were in the past. In the bedroom, I appeared facing the door, even the position of my body matched, and yours must have too. Since at that point, the key was under my position was also in the body I appeared in. Again, that's why the cleaning cart didn't appear anywhere in the past. What's more likely is that it ceased existing as soon as you traveled touching it.
Yeah, that must be how it works.
So what happened to the cleaning cart?
It disappeared.
What?
I
How?
closed my eyes.
I don't get it.
It wasn't a part of anything, so the Sekimeiya got rid of it. I closed my eyes. It was very likely we'd concluded something regarding Sekimeiya's travels, but at first glance it didn't seem too important. I had even thought of it before without giving it much importance. However, we could almost be certain that the Sekimeiya replicated our past bodies exactly as they had once been. As soon as I tried to explore that concept, something major came to me. It was proof that the small details could open seemingly sealed doors and that we had to explore every little path.
Escaping alive had been the main goal at the start. Then escaping with time travel device had begun to sound like an achievable goal that some of us might have shared. However, Shiro and I had internally thought. However, Shiro and I had internally sought an unreachable peak while we'd been taunted by such an inconsequential time travel. That was saving our friend who died 2 weeks earlier.
Bish!
Even though it had appeared It's Tuesday debate.
Thursday, innit? I want to
You know,
what's
we
all
had-
this?
Even though it had appeared impossible regardless of the approach, concluding that the last detail might have opened the first real path to it, no matter how vague or improbable. If we could understand what determined the exact amount of time to be traveled, and most importantly, the appearing location. I almost said location.
Location. Now he is French. It's even worse. It just keeps getting worse. Are we gonna become Turkish next?
I don't know any. Wait, I do know one Turkish word.
What is it?
I found them.
No.
Load the next line of dialogue, please.
No.
If there had been a time in which I'd been touching Mia and I could replicate that body. Touching Mia? Ayo?
Touching Mia?
Ain't no way. Well, like the guys.
Guys.
Mia's?
And
Oh my god.
Sekimeiya, ain't no way. Mia,
We solved the
Mia's dead
game!
bone between the Sekimeiya, that's it.
What does the Seki stand for?
He's-
Though?
Seki means like, well, I
Suck.
don't know the con.
Suck Mia.
It can mean a lot of things depending on the context. I can't say.
Could it mean that Inferno Hellfire is a very obnoxious human being? Could it mean that?
Yes.
In the context?
Kanjis are not that complex.
I don't know, man. Sounds like coke to me. Did Inferno Hellfire hack into your body and make you say that?
Load the next line of dialogue.
Okay, white boy.
The possibility that Mia would appear with me might have been real. While it didn't sound at all special, the locker key had just been brought back into existence. I flushed it away. I flushed it away through the toilet, and I managed to get it back with the Sekimeiya. Mia's circumstances were the same, but the sole difference is that she was a human being. My past body and my possessions of the past could be replicated, but Mia might not have been counted if it simply been touching her.
Very sussy dialogue.
But what if I could think of a time where I'd been holding her hand or her shirt?
Shirt?
Or her shirt? None immediately came to mind, but they might have like I've been holding her hand or her shirt.
Question
Bro,
mark?
that's so sus. 7 read.
Okay, if hear me out. If I pluck out a hair strand out of their head and I travel while holding that hair strand, will they come with me? Is it still part of their body?
No. Has to be
Okay.
physically within contact with their body.
Okay, what if it is a hair strand that's like touching my head still, but if I like touch on it once, it's gonna like fall off. It's like caught up, but like not really. What if I touch that hair strand?
If something is physically in contact with your body, yes, it would end it.
Okay. But you see,
Seven.
you are touching the air, and that air is contact with the person. So, okay. I looked at Shreya, whose pensive look must have resembled mine. We'd remained silent for many seconds. While I hadn't thought of voicing my recent thoughts to her, she might have found that same path herself. I took a couple steps back to lean on the column, trying to break through the single wall that blocked my reasoning.
With the sole difference that she's a human being. I might have been too fast to think that. While I thought that we couldn't rule this out without attempting it, I see a big problem that might just reveal its impossibility. The biggest difference between a key and a human being is without a doubt the possession of consciousness.
No, I can't believe one of them is alive and the other one is.
Sherlock Holmes. Objects don't have consciousness, nor soul. In the bedroom, our past bodies were recreated and we appeared within them. The locker key is proof enough of that. However, what happened to the brain? If our past bodies were recreated, then the brain must have belonged to a past version of us. Despite that, we possessed memories and knowledge obtained after the recreated point. So even though we appeared in bodies identical to our pasts, the past's minds were left out. Why did our... No, that's not me.
Would have a consciousness appear in our past bodies without conflicting with our past consciousnesses? That has to be because we touched the Sekimeiya while in possession of a future consciousness. Then it was permitted in the past version of us. When that had a vacant mind. So, what would happen if I could replicate my body from a time I'd been holding Mia? My consciousness would make it to the replicated body. When my consciousness would make it to the replicated body. But since Mia wouldn't travel with the Sekimeiya, there'd be none to insert into hers. Therefore, it's possible to appear next to a lifeless body as past consciousness aren't being replicated. Consciousness is...
Consciousnesses.
Come.
Come.
Unlimited come. But no
Unlimited
come.
come. Load the next line. There you go. But I can't know whether I'm overriding my past consciousness every time I replicate my body, or if it's merely not being replicated, I'm occupying an empty slot. Second, after all, the Sekimeiya touched Isla's dead body and she didn't travel. That's probably because there was no longer consciousness present within her. To try to make this happen and to test which hypothesis is correct, attaching ourselves to the smallest possibility, we'd have to understand the Sekimeiya completely. Then the intent would have to be the final. Then the attempt would have to be final. What? Then the attempt had to. Seven. You're 7.
Okay, so.
Then the attempt had to be final and about Mia. To try to make it happen, test which hypothesis is correct. Attaching ourselves to the smallest possibility, we have to understand Sekimeiya completely. Then the attempt would have to be final and about Mia. What do you mean?
I actually don't know what this means either. What the
We're in 7 and test which hypothesis is correct. Attaching ourselves to the smallest possibility, we don't understand. Okay. Then the attempt would have to be final and about Mia. Sure, and I can't arrange the necessary circumstances. I can't arrange the necessary circumstances by ourselves to see if it will work, because a successful result would create an extra and permanent version of us. It means that currently, whenever you use the Sekimeiya, right? The version of you that's in the past. When you go to a past, there's 2 of you, right? That the past version of you is eventually at some point going to move forward, and then time travel, right? So there's a period of time in which there's 2 yous that exist, but the past you will time travel. It's a time loop, right? And there will be no more past yous. What Atsuki's saying is that if this hypothesis was correct and you managed to stop Mia from dying, it would create an infinite time loop, because it would create a permanent version of you, because it's a different reality. It's a reality in which you didn't come here. The reason you were here is because Mia died and you were like, let's go to this place to honor her death. But if she's not dead, then you wouldn't come here. You basically wouldn't have been able to go back to the past. It creates not only a paradox, but a version of you that will permanently exist.
It's the same ass paradox we've seen before. It's like, oh, you kill your parents, what happens now? Right? You can't kill your parents, but you can also kill their parents at the same time.
Okay, I think I see it now. 7 is 0, by the way.
This is so sad. So, the first step, what determines the point in time our replicated bodies are based on? It's definitely different from the amount of time we traveled, and it doesn't seem to be consistent. But the second step, the amount of distance traveled, appears to work under a consistent rule. The longer the Sekimeiya spends storing energy, the farther we travel. Meanwhile, the replicated location is different with each travel, and there's no clear rule to draw. However, it's hard to think of only one thing to be consistent. The core of replicating a past location is purely teleportation. While teleporting to a coordinate of space, we were once said. However, how is the Sekimeiya working with the coordinates? While the answer would be that its powers are simply magical, there's more depth to it than I first thought.
The easiest concept of teleportation is to grasp The easiest concept of teleportation to grasp consists of two containers and matter teleporting from one to the other. The teleportation point is the other container because it exists and can be accessed. We aren't appearing inside designated and fixed containers though. So let's assume that the coordinate of the bedroom where I appeared can be measured with a number. Oh my god, we're gonna do math now. Get ready. When I Sekimeiya, it sent me to a space coordinate after recognizing that I'd found myself there in the past. The problem is that we live on Earth, a planet that is constantly moving.
Hear me
What
out.
the hell?
If we let the Sekimeiya,
Okay.
hear me out. If we let the Sekimeiya like sit still for like 2 fucking years, and then I touch it, does that mean that I would fall into outer space because like the Earth has like moved closer and further out from the sun, and it has changed positions as it's like moving around through the
Now,
years?
This
Through
is
months.
not a topic that I actually expected the game to like answer, because this is a real life question that people are asking in regards to teleportation.
It would
It
make
would
sense
have
for
to
it be
bring
us.
you to a point in space and time, but the Earth is constantly moving, so that point in space and time would constantly be changing.
Yeah, you would have to like.
This is a
calculate
real
where
life-
That would be.
This is a real life science question that the game is tackling.
Yeah.
I can't believe
I
the
did
Sekimeiya is
so-
making me do. I can't believe the Sekimeiya is making do science.
Sekimeiya more like Sekimeiya Gate, am I right, guys?
True.
Yeah.
Next
I
dialogue,
think the
please.
Sekimeiya is a super genius mathematician stuck inside an egg.
Stuck in the egg.
There is a rat that can do math inside the egg. It's stuck in there. Alright, who was reading this? Zen was
I'm waiting for the next line of dialogue.
My bad.
As time went forward, Earth would have moved away from that coordinate, and it wouldn't have corresponded to the attic's bedroom anymore. If the Sekimeiya had simply sent me to one of my past's coordinates, chances are I would have appeared in the middle of space. Going off Shiroya's estimate, we appeared where we'd been 10 minutes prior to traveling while having only gone back 5. At that point, the coordinate that had once belonged to the attic's bedroom had already been vacated by Earth.
I've been walking in circles around the column, absorbing my unusual thoughts. Shura saw that I stopped and stretched her body a bit.
Here we go. It's well past the time we traveled.
Yes, but I want to do one thing first.
I showed her the locker key, and then we left through hallway B.
It became evident that we'd left the doors of 2 rooms open, the event room and room B6. I ignored them and walked to the bathrooms. Like before, I raised the toilet's lid and tossed the key inside before flushing it away. I had to do it again after it returned to deny once more the reality in which someone used it in the past to take our Sekimeiya.
Well, the universe handled it fine again. The way the Sekimeiya disappeared from the locker is still basically a locked room mystery.
She shrugged, and while she was right, I still went to the staff room.
Do we count this as 2?
Was it 2? I wasn't.
Well, yeah, because it was the first time it was the lockers, and then there was
The
another
locker
one,
open?
animation. Yeah,
I don't think that counts.
Oh, is that 2 different scenes?
it's technically 2 different scenes.
It is 2 different scenes.
That means
It just, we'd have to argue about what
Counts
makes
as
the
a scene.
difference.
you know what?
between
I have a better
scene.
solution to this. There is no point in debating about something like this when it makes like no fucking difference. So how about we roll a dice for this one, or
How about we do
No.
rock? How about we do rock paper scissors?
Yo, that's not gonna work. You know what happened last time? I wanted to throw rock and you want to throw rock, and we kept repeating that for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was funny.
Well, then, Zen and Inferno, do you guys agree on the idea that it was a new scene?
Well, here's the
think
difference.
I think it's a news.
If me and Inferno disagree, then I won't do rock paper and scissors. But if you and Inferno agree, then I will do rock paper scissors.
Now, I agree with Inferno that this is a different scene because I think even the slightest pixel change should be a different scene. Because
Okay, if we
at
find
the
this Sekimeiya
core
on the ground all of
aspect,
a sudden, will that
at
work?
the core aspect, well, yeah, but before that, if we were looking at a sprite of somewhere and then the Sekimeiya appeared on the ground of that same place, it would count as a different scene. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get
Okay.
at. What I'm saying is the meaning of the word different is literally, some variant of something else.
Fair
This
enough.
is clearly different.
Okay. I can agree with that.
So-
Sure.
So
So,
it's Inferno.
I'm reading.
Yeah, go.
Inferno, you
I was
agree
able
with it just so
to-
you could read yourself? Damn.
I was able to open the locker just fine, and there was no Sekimeiya inside.
Nobody else ever held that key, right? Could someone go back in time and replicate a position in which they'd held it?
Only when Sai found a whole set on the first Naomi, I'm pretty sure.
My mind had gone pretty deep into it. What if someone replicated a position in which they'd been holding the key? Had that ever happened?
Ever?
If that
Ever
would
happened?
if that would create a lifeless body of mine, it could appear
Stop
holding the
being
key.
British! Sorry. Let's get the second. It still has to be in the other room. Across the hallway was the crystal room we traveled from. We pushed the door farther and peered into the empty space. We lowered our view and scanned the shining floor. With puzzled faces, we stepped in to access better angles after having been unable to spot the Sekimeiya.
Not here. That didn't make any sense. Had someone taken it while we'd been in the lobby? When we traveled, it would have fallen to the floor. Could it have rolled somewhere? I looked all around me and shook my head. Then I continued circling the room with my eyes until I noticed. What do you mean with your eyes? What were you going to continue to circle the room with? What else could it have been?
My butt.
Why do you have to specify
Oh,
your
I think I get it. He's just like, drawing a circle with his pupils as he's frantically looking around the room at different points of the room. I think that's what he means.
Yeah, but why do you need to specify with your eyes?
To
clearly
make the
something I
word
can
count
understand.
longer, so that the game would be longer, to make us, take longer to beat the game.
Until
Yeah, that's what,
I
that's what
noticed.
visual novels do.
Yeah.
They add
Why do you
unnecessary
think Kate
fillers.
spoke for like 20 fucking minutes at the start of the game?
Kate was so real for this.
I'm gonna fucking murder that guy. Zen, when you asked me, have you ever wanted to kill someone? I forgot about Kate's existence. I take what I said back. I would kill someone.
I want to kill Kate Kuiji from the hit game Sekimeiya's bundle.
Next line, please.
Okay, sure. Did you read this?
Yeah, I did. While you guys were
I
arguing.
didn't
noticed
hear
the
it.
oddity part.
Yeah, because you guys were arguing and you didn't listen to me.
This is so sad.
A few cabinets were composed of drawers, instead of having a hollow interior compartment. One of the drawers was sticking out more than the others. I walked to it, unsure if it was anything important. When Shura saw what I was staring at, she also realized what was off. Upon closer examination, even though the difference was minimal, my observation was proven correct. The lowest drawer of a cabinet wasn't fully closed. Before I could reach it, Shura spoke about a detail I'd missed. This is the cabinet the Sekimeiya was next to, right?
Oh, earlier? You're right. It was on the floor, in front of it. Who's this?
Which meant that, most likely, the person who had left the Sekimeiya behind had opened the drawer. I extended my arm and pulled the drawer toward me. Immediately, arm. An object within rolled around the narrow interior, making dry noises as it hit the wood. Egg.
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 After we stopped rolling, the immobile Sekimeiya met our eyes, letting out a surrounding faint glow. Aside from it, there was nothing else inside.
You sound retarded. I'm sorry. Shoya and I looked at each other, well aware that what we were seeing didn't make sense. The Sekimeiya disappeared only to reappear inside a nearby drawer. Is it even the same one? The drawer wasn't shut all the way, so we can probably ignore the self-teleportation we've been thinking of. Someone most likely put it in here. But who would have failed to properly close a drawer? Once again, it seemed as if we'd been lured to the Sekimeiya's whereabouts. Before questioning anything else, I put my shirt between my hand and the Sekimeiya's surface. As I'd been trained to do, however, I couldn't last more than a couple of seconds before I had to take my hand off. What the fuck? It's burning!
If we're right, that must mean that it's been here for a while.
The longer the Sekimeiya spends out of cold temperature, the hotter it gets. The farther back in time you go, the bigger this range is. If that was correct, she must have been right. I'm pretty sure it wasn't this hot during our previous travels.
Then,
It was an imposing claim. Every time we'd found the Sekimeiya, the decision of whether to touch it had been quick to arrive. If the proposition was to go substantially back through time, though, I'd become highly indecisive, as it would make our presence in power hard to accomplish, and we would still not be able to change the past. Let's put it in the cabinet. I looked at Shiroya and was met with a bitter expression. She'd already made up her mind. Perhaps touching it would have brought us out of the tower, but it could have also considerably dragged out our stay while we'd been unable to have any impact on a history that had already occurred. I nodded and began thinking about how to move it without burning myself. I think we should just stop altogether. Let's just wait until we can leave. We can travel through time, which is still ridiculous to think about, but there's no point to it, right? It can only help us understand what's going on, but there are cameras all over the place, and the police might be a few hours away from entering. We don't even know how the Sekimeiya got inside the drawer, and it's clear that we don't understand anything about what we got caught up in. Touching it again could just be dangerous, so there's no point in risking it again.
Tacitly?
Tastily.
Tacitly?
No.
Tastily?
I was just making fun of it. It is tacitly.
Okay, I tacitly listened to her, giving multiple reasons not to touch it. It let me a bit confused, as she hadn't been opposed to it a mere minutes ago.
You goddamn wanker.
Yeah, goddamn like, holy shit, you're in dialogue.
I'm sure you
So
can imagine
much.
that I've been thinking about how we could undo what happened, but it's not possible. The more I spend thinking about it, the further I am being able to let the wound heal. I don't think having some hope is bad, but it is if we know that it doesn't really exist. The Sekimeiya is useless.
Right now, you're
I
useless
know what
to
you're
me.
gonna. Same brain cell. Yep. With all three of us were thinking. the
All
same
you
thing.
do is eat away at my life.
Zen, pull
Oh.
up the soundboard, please.
Why me? You guys do it. I'm
Fine.
reading a Reddit thread.
Reddit.
Right now, you're useless to me. Right now, you're useless to me.
いらっしゃいませ。
Just sneak one in there. Mods, crush the skull. Thank you.
Mods, crush the skull. Thank
Savannah, we're gonna move on to the next line?
Yes, I
We're
am.
waiting. He's having fun pressing funny sound effects.
I get distracted easily,
Was it-
guys. My ADHD.
I was left dumbfounded by those harsh words, and I found myself trying to think about it, reply before realizing that I agree with it. I'd been going on about Isla's decided fate while I kept trying to find a way to reverse Mia's. In reality, both were just as impossible to change. I recalled the pensive face Shori had been making in the lobby where she must have reached the ultimate conclusion.
We said we'd go to Iron after we got out to see what's become of the cabin. Let's just make sure that happens.
As I felt a breaking wave of emotions, I managed to give her a nod. I'd let the desire to escape become a background goal, but it should have been the only thing to strive for. That's the first time the word strive has been used in the whole game. Trust. Oh, strive. The only time this word has been used in the whole game so far. I knew it.
Bro, I would use it like 100 times by now.
It had been sudden, but after all those dreamlike hours, Shiraya's words had brought me back to reality. Mia's death was irreversible. I breathed deeply, trying to keep myself balanced. Alright.
Yes.
I agree. Let's wait patiently and ignore whatever the hell the others are doing. At 21 o'clock, the front door has to open.
Alright, what's going on here has nothing to do with us, and it's gotten too big to try to understand. He said Akro and Sai could enter from the outside to grab the Sekimeiya, so let's leave it in the cabinet and wait next to it.
No, this is not me.
Yeah,
This is
it's me.
7.
Yes, thank you for the art. I grabbed the bottom of my shirt and with my left hand to create a little hammock where I placed the Sekimeiya. As the cloth wasn't touching my skin, I was able to transport the Sekimeiya safely. I quickly headed toward the door and we left the room.
We were in hallway B. Oh, music stopped.
Are we gonna find Kati?
No. I've come here to ruin your session.
Left 4 Dead 2 tank music.
We were in hallway B. My perspective on the recording had been fluctuating drastically, and once again it had become one of the worst possibilities. If it occurred, even though it would mean that Isla would be alive in the future, that was the only illusion of an upside. She'd end up going to the past to die inside the room A5 cabinet.
I don't know why I thought I said AS.
I took short steps so that the Sekimeiya would stay still. Eventually, I reached the open door that would lead to the vent room, where we would again attempt to wait, detaching ourselves from our surroundings. What?
Holy shit! They gave us a choice!
What?
I'm gonna save the game. Hold on.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh my god!
I even used up
Are
second
we
slot
gonna
just
get?
in case.
Are we
Okay.
gonna get the wrong ending? Okay.
Okay, let's think about this. There's no need to rush, alright? We're gonna finish this game in like
Oh.
fucking 100 hours anyway at this rate. So let's just think of this carefully, guys. We'll let everyone speak their mind. What do you guys think? What do you guys
I'm
think
going
we should do?
first. First of all, the most obvious thing. Entering the room and waiting is probably going to be more boring because they're just going to say text that doesn't matter again. Touching the Sekimeiya, we'll go back in time and see things happen and it'll be interesting. That's
True.
my point of view.
I think this is
I'm
going
not
to happen.
siding with anything, I'm just saying that's what's going to
Okay,
happen.
Inferno, do you have any more input to add before we get into real opinions?
I think well, I was gonna get into a real opinion.
Okay, then feel free to get into a real opinion.
I think we should enter the room because Shiroya was talking about how we should not have anything to do with the second man. This is not like something we should be concerned with. Like and then what was his name again? Atsuki?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then Atsuki also came to the realization that he agrees with Shiroya. And I don't want to betray her trust, to be honest.
Okay, here's what I think. Actually, Zen, do you want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. Here's what I think. I think we should deliberately make the choice that leads us to the bad ending. Here is why. Because if we get the good ending route, we're gonna keep continuing the game. However, if we get the bad ending, we're gonna see the cool stuff, the cool bad ending, and then we're gonna load back and continue from on there, right? So we get to see all the content without worrying about it too much. So the question for me becomes, which one would be the bad ending? Which one is more likely? Anyways, then you go. What do you think we should do?
Probably touch the second man would be the bad ending.
Dude, I just think touching the Sekimeiya would be more fun.
I think
I don't
so
want to
too.
stand in a room.
Here's the thing, right? I feel like if we enter the room, we will actually fail to figure out something in the mystery, and then we're gonna get like a bad ending because, I don't know, we all die or some shit. If we touch the Sekimeiya, we will probably get a better ending. However, you could take that on the flip side. You didn't trust Shiroya, now I'm gonna give you the bad ending. The game could just pull that up. So we genuinely I don't think we can know this one. I think we should touch Sekimeiya.
I think every single fun thing that's happened in this game so far has occurred because we made contact with the Sekimeiya.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely want to see what happens if we were to touch it. Worst case scenario, we have a save file, right?
Yeah. So this does not matter too much. So I think we should touch the Sekimeiya. And Zen also agrees. What do you think, Inferno?
I already set my piece. I think we should enter the room and not betray Shibuya.
Well, by the power of democracy, we're touching the Sekimeiya. Power to the people of Earth. Touch the Sekimeiya.
We die. Hatsuki and Shiroya lived in a delicate universe. A single modification could collapse the complex structure they were climbing.
Zen is dead. Anyways, guys, that was a Sekimeiya. We touched the stone and we got engulfed in a dodgy smoke. That was a great game, guys.
However, the structure could be partially frozen and then changed. The universe will be frozen, and that will permit its observation. It will become a universe that would collapse if set in motion. Rules have to be bent abstractly. The flow must stop. Only that will allow an impossibility.
Huh? That is likely a hint.
Bad end. Actually, Lucas. Okay, now what?
Where's this song?
Atsuki
and Shibuya were informed of them. Unbeknownst to them, instead of the deftly weaving their way through the myriad tangled threads, those very same strings took a hold of their own bodies.
What? What? What does that mean?
I think we got the wrong and bad ending.
I mean, this is what I wanted, so I'm not complaining. But instead of deftly weaving through the myriad tangled threads, those very same strings took hold of their own bodies.
Atsuki's hand reached for the Sekimeiya, and as his brain was informed of the most painful burn he ever felt, his eyes took in the sudden darkness that appeared around him. He attempted to understand where he'd appeared, but the lack of light made it futile. He touched the Sekimeiya, going against what he'd agreed with Shiroya. I told you!
I mean, yeah, but it's funny. And also, we get to hear the good song again.
True.
However, while there hasn't been a reason behind it, he didn't question his action.
What was the song called again? 2085 Space Odyssey.
Question his action. After a few seconds lost within the darkness, his eyes began to adjust and he spotted a faint light coming from the left. Immediately, he recognized where he was. He belonged to the reception desk found in the lobby of Ashia Tower. That was where he had appeared.
I thought we were lost in a space vacuum or some shit, okay. He had to determine the time. While the lack of light wasn't a complete giveaway, he knew he hadn't traveled just a short time back. He approached the hallway beetle and timidly turned the doorknob. spending a while to find it. Without offering any resistance, he opened the path to the wide corridor, which resembled nothing more than a haunting void. It was just as dark as the lobby, with no light to verify its surroundings. However, he knew the layout and began to move forward. Even though he was lost in time, his movements hinted at the goal. After a few steps, his motion was halted by a sound that echoed off the walls. I think this is Kate, right? Or Naomi.
Probably. I don't even know who Naomi was. Do you guys remember who Naomi was?
It was me.
I think it was 7 actually. Yeah.
Okay, who
If
does
go.
this? Anyone wants to go?
If I go.
Stop moving at once, stay still and do not run away.
Now this is done.
The sudden, robotic noise pierced through Atsuki's chest, accomplishing its demand before the words could be processed. Atsuki understood the meaning behind the voice, as it had been explained to him. It must have belonged to the microphone installed in the security room. He hadn't seen it, but a speaker must have been placed somewhere in the walls. Conclusions could be drawn from the overly loud noise. Someone was in the security room, and most importantly, the hallway cameras were functioning. Skate had told them they possessed night vision. Atsuki had traveled to a point that met those conditions.
Oh, I think I know what happened. We traveled before the exhibition began, so
Yeah.
Kate saw us and thought we were a member of Zin.
Writing
Right?
his next instructions, he stayed immobile, showing no intent of defying what he had been told. However, when the voice played again, a frown drew itself over his face.
What are you doing? You cannot escape.
Atsuki was beginning to lose a sense of direction. That's not me.
Yeah,
Who's
that's me.
this is me.
Or me. Me. Atsuki was beginning to lose his inner direction, as he couldn't discern the walls around him. Most walls let him know that he was not aware of the situation either. It was unlikely the last mission had been addressed him because he hadn't moved at all. Just as he walked forward, waiting to see if his existence could be recognized. After a few steps, no new message reverberated. He looked up and saw a distant and faint green light. It belonged to a security camera, but he couldn't know if it was working.
Oh, he's probably talking to Shiroya.
Maybe?
Oh, Shroya also got
Probably, yeah.
teleported with us, probably.
Could also be the entire tower, to be honest. If the AoE got that large.
Howard, bro, they blew justing the entire time. They should nerf the AoE range of the Sekimeiya.
True, bro. That should charge you so fast.
However, he had a way to assure not being seen. Attempting to achieve a safer position, he took a few more steps and began to feel the cold wall. He shortly spotted the door and took hold of its knob. Then he felt an alien pain in his hand that startled him. Confused, he tried with his other hand and pushed open the door with ease. To comprehend where he was, he reached for the closest wall. After recognizing the shape of a locker, he knew he picked the correct door and had arrived in the staff room. 7.
He'd chosen it for its lack of cameras. He thought something was happening around him, so he didn't want to be mistaken for an escaping culprit. He could feel slightly more comfortable in a closed-off space. There, he waited. He didn't know why it had all come to that, but the imposing darkness only let him wait until he could understand what was happening. Just a few minutes earlier, he'd been talking to Shroya about making it out of the tower and resuming their old life. He couldn't yet be sure if touching this Sekimeiya had made that easier.
Stood next to the door, certain that he'd noticed if someone had tried to open it. But what he'd expected to be a short wait eventually morphed into a half an hour of pure silence. As the empty minutes kept going by, the ominous emotions began to fill his mind. Would he be mistaken for a criminal at the end of his wait? Was he alone, even though someone else must have been addressed earlier? If someone else was present, should he try to evade them or go look for them? Countless thoughts passed through his brain, yet he couldn't decide. Wherever that point in time was, Atsuki spent a full hour of it as the sole guard of the staff room, while uncertainty permeated his being. Suddenly he checked his pocket. There he found a small key, which he recognized had the shape of Naomi's lockers. Oh!
Oh shit.
Atsuki's sprite!
Yo! We still have the smoke. That's interesting. See?
Yeah, because we traveled from the future, you dumbass.
Oh,
Of course we
right.
have the smoke.
Why did I think that this Husky was like another Husky for a moment? I'm stupid. One moment. Without warning, the lights turned on, emitting no
That's-
noise.
That was supposed to
I
be
think that
the
was.
go ahead.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Inferno. Right, go on, Inferno. I'm stupid.
No, you go. No, you go ahead if you really want.
Okay. Without warning, the lights turned on, emitting no noise. Instead of being startled, Husky shut his eyes forcibly, attacked by the intense illumination. After a few attempts at reopening them, his vision finally adapted, and he looked around the room where he'd spent so much time. He confirmed that it was the staff room, looking exactly as he thought.
I'll be right back.
The lights indicated that he wasn't alone in the building, but there were no cue to start moving. His dilemma hadn't yet been solved, so he remained indecisive. Before he could give an updated situation much thought, he heard a sound coming from the hallway, resembling one of the footsteps he'd heard a few times during the past hours. Further amplifying their presence, the person in the hallway kept making noise. Husky heard a door being opened and closed, as well as sounds coming from the behind the wall to his left. Bruno, you read. Bruno,
Yeah,
read this.
but this is supposed to be Zen.
But no, because you read and then Zen reads, because I messed up.
No.
I think we should wait for a second. Something's gonna go down. God, this is crazy, dude. Zen, please come back fast. Why did he have to leave now?
So wait. Now that we have Atsuki's Prime, which POV are we looking this from? The narrators?
I guess that doesn't make any sense. Why hasn't it happened before? Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo. I used to watch that show a lot.
I have not. While Zen is waiting, while Zen is gone and we're waiting.
Wait, 7. Zen? It's all
Oh
connected.
shit! We should have known. I'm gonna kick that guy off the Discord voice chat. I can't. He's the admin. Anyway, I'm gonna get some water. Be right back.
Alright.
It's time for me to do this. Check the stream. I put the newest shot on again.
Based.
Okay, be right back.
You're telling me Atsuki is about to get caught? Huh? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh,
I
he
almost
just.
back.
Okay, Zen. I have
Mhm.
something. I have something important.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting banned.
You're getting
Why?
banned from Toho Gaming this
Yeah,
week.
yeah, because
We figured it out.
listen, we figured it out. Zen sounds a lot like Zin.
It's over. They found me out. I thought I could hide. I really thought I
you were the Sekimeiya all along.
Yep, it was me. I'm the Sekimeiya.
The Sekimeiya was the friends we made along the way. Okay, I think that was enough stupidity. Okay, Zan, while you were gone, we read one more dialogue which said, footsteps are approaching. That's it. Well, it was longer than that, but Atsuki just heard footsteps while you were gone. That's all about all that happened. Anyway, who reads this? Inferno read.
I'm gonna be right back.
Amazing.
Snake! Snake!
Mods.
Mods, precious skull, thank you.
The house always wins.
Otacon! Otacon. My cleaves keep alerting the guards. What do I do, Otacon? Otacon, can I kiss you? Zen? Zen? What are the chances that Inferno's not gonna be back for like another 40 minutes?
It won't be that long. I trust him.
I don't trust him. I'm going to bother him on his DMs.
Even if it does take him a while, the song is good enough, so I don't mind
True,
listening
true.
to the song.
I'm just gonna like stream a song to the people. Obviously, they would want to see that. You know, if not for the Neo Strut video, I think my streams would be like so much more boring. Anytime like someone leaves, I just like put it on and like viewer retention goes up by like 9,000%.
Fact checked by the real liberals.
Back checked by real Subway Surfers enthusiasts. Family Guy funny moments. I think we should play Guilty Gear Strive and bully Inferno in it. Just saying. Gay Inferno, gay fire.
Maybe.
Either that or 100% orange juice, as I've said earlier. This game is $30 in the US? Holy shit. I love Shroya happy sprites. It makes me very happy.
Mhm.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I hate you. I don't. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if you did hate me.
But just... Anyway, who was reading this again?
Zen.
I don't know. Not me. I was gone.
You were reading. It was 7, and then we stopped.
You
Inferno
read
go.
it, and then Inferno was supposed to read, but I read it, and then now Inferno should read it because he didn't get his turn,
True. Yeah.
and then it should
Inferno
be
go.
you then.
I mean,
No. I'm also with you.
I'm going to end this game stream.
7 go.
I'm not doing that.
We're both in.
You know what?
I mean,
I'll do it if both of you read 2 pages.
No.
no. Fine,
We're literally eating 7.
Well, it's not
I
my
can
problem.
stop.
Either we wait.
Atsuki's heart began to beat faster. As much as he wanted to understand what was happening, he had no desire to be found. He was paying close attention to every sound, but he failed to recognize that someone was right behind the door. He heard the knot being ripped and looked at it turning. He stepped back, and as soon as the door opened, Atsuki breathed again as the eyes of the person who finally found him. Kate?
Not me.
The figure was immediately taken aback while its expression shaped into one of defiance. Atsuki, on the other hand, were an unsure look after having immediately recognized the man. It is Kate!
Probably is Kate.
Well, who reads now? Is it gonna be in Zen?
You!
Why is it me?
It's
I already read it.
you. He just read.
No, I said Inferno was going to read, but I read in his place, so he should get his turn, and we should continue as normal to Zen.
No, you
That's not how
didn't!
the order works. 7, just read.
Fine. What the fuck are you doing? Those were the first words Atsuki heard in more than an hour. He didn't know how to reply, so he moved forward, drawn in by the senior room behind the man. However, he stopped himself once he spotted something of massive importance. The man was transporting a black suitcase. Aren't you gonna fucking answer me? Who are you? Since Atsuki knew that explaining wouldn't serve a purpose, he produced an inquiry of his own. What's the suitcase for? The man's expression instantly morphed again. These cold words were interpreted as a clear and sudden attack, but he tried to hide his reaction.
What do you mean? It's just a suitcase. How are you even here?
Huh? Why are we green?
I guess he's green.
I guess he's green because we're seeing it from the other perspective, sure. First, tell me what you need the suitcase for.
Are you trying to imply something? I'm not following.
Huh. I understand what's going on now. The gems are already inside it. Or were you about to go get them?
I haven't been able to reason something out. Calm Datsuki. Every trace of fear had left his body and had been replaced by confidence. Can the past be changed after all? That question floated into Atsuki's mind.
Who's this?
Man,
Mm-hmm.
the message didn't change. It was lost in thought after Oski's abrupt accusation. Nonchalantly, he entered the room and locked his piercing eyes on Oski, who didn't waver. Suddenly, he grabbed Oski's neck and threw him into the wall.
Based.
Xander, I think this is you.
This is Inferno. You read it.
Oh, we just.
Why?
Oh, so the person is being like voiced by whoever the narrator is. Okay, go on, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. What the
we
fuck do
did so
you know?
far.
Were you waiting for me?
He has like something in his mouth, like the robber.
Yeah. Oski's reasoning had given him reassurance, but it didn't prepare him. He had future information, so he shouldn't have had the upper hand. However, his discussion with Sai had given him a false expectation, and he hadn't reacted properly to an abrupt physical attack.
Kid, no matter what you think you know, you're done for. You are sticking your nose into something very delicate, and this will not stand. It's fucking Evi persona.
Oh!
Those words didn't reach Oski, as his head had slammed too hard into the wall. While the man kept throwing more and more threats at him, he was unaware that Oski's sight was only registering a blurry image of his face. Once he had told him everything he deemed necessary, he let go of him, thinking that he'd managed to convey the seriousness of his words. However, Oski's body plummeted down, the same lost gaze looking upward at the ceiling. As soon as he understood what he'd done, the man rushed to grab him, hoping that he was trying to trick him. However, that was far from the truth. Atsuki's remaining time alive wasn't a countdown. As it ticked down, he couldn't even process that his fresh start with Shiroya would ever begin.
He's dying?
Oh shit.
This is... He couldn't move, and he knew that the hallway's cameras would record him. For that reason, he stood next to the door, spending the minutes growing accustomed to the thought that his life had been ruined. He ran through many courses of action. Suddenly, he concluded that there was some hope left for him. Even though exiting the room would cement the reality of his actions, he might have had a way around it. After what had happened, though, he was unsure he could count on it.
As in, like, self-defense?
No, I think he was trying to bring him back to life.
Oh,
Eventually, the previous events repeated themselves. The door was opened from the outside, and the man met face to face with a person who would see him as a killer. On the floor, Atsuki spent the last seconds of his life facing up, unable to move any part of his body, resembling a hallucination. He saw his killer being startled by the knob's movement. When the door completed its arc and bounced on the wall, three more figures entered Atsuki's sight, but he couldn't distinguish their expressions. In front of him, he saw 4 people. 2 men, a woman, and a girl. It seemed all of them were looking at him, and he felt something. He knew all of them. He recognized their clothes, bodies, and faces. He saw the last 3 of them rushing to him, but his mind got cut
A
off.
girl is Zyla, a woman is Erina, but the 2 men?
Well, no, listen. I think by 4 people, one of them is the killer that just killed you. So there's 1 man, 1 woman, 1 girl. Girl is probably Ayla.
A woman has
Woman,
to be
we're
Erina,
not
because
sure.
Ayla is there, then Erina also has to be there.
It could be Shiraya.
It could be,
We
but
don't know.
I doubt it.
And men is just one of the men.
Some guy. So, I'm gonna say this now. It's something that Atsuki recognized, so it has to be either Kate or Atsuki. Sai is a fucking twink. There is no way he's gonna kill Atsuki in one fucking blow, alright? It can't be Sai.
The killer, we don't know the killer.
He said they recognized his face though, didn't he?
No. He recognized the
No.
faces of the people who would just entered the room.
Before this, hold on.
No, he didn't.
Hold on. As soon as Atsuki after having immediately recognized the man, is that not it?
Doesn't recognize the man entering the room.
Okay. Sure. I guess that makes sense. Okay. We're done here.
That was the last image Atsuki saw. Then his. Oh, this is not me.
This has to be Inferno, right?
Inferno.
Yeah, hold on.
He's so bad.
I'm swallowing.
What? You guys want to know something really funny?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see here. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle has 15 people in game. Okay, that's more than I thought. Under Night in Birth.
Can you focus on playing the game for a second,
I'm waiting
please?
for Inferno!
Yeah, but I think he's ready.
Well,
No, yeah, I'm ready.
okay, good.
That was the last image Atsuki saw, then his consciousness didn't fade away as he had none.
Similarly, none of this happened, as it couldn't. So if the frozen sections could have been reached, everything would have crumbled down. That's not what I meant to do.
Is it just gonna go back? The illusion of free choice?
But that wasn't all. Something else denied the whole structure's connection. Another rule had just been defied.
Literally the illusion of free choice.
Ethereal Arc.
What does that even mean?
And I think we're gonna get back to the title screen.
If your arc doesn't even explain what it means.
Ethereal arc.
Please.
This arc.
Oh.
The illusion of free choice. The
illusion
illusion
of
of free choice. Enter the room or get bad ending and then enter the room.
Yeah, I would be fine if it like just kicked us back to the title screen, but this
Yeah.
feels like an insult.
Well, I guess we just enter the room.
Well, I got what I wanted. We got the bad ending.
Still cupping the Sekimeiya with my shirt, I stepped into the room where I saw the cabinet and another open door. Shiroi came after me, glancing at the cabinet, which was partially covered by the dark curtain. She scrolled open the glass and helped me place the Sekimeiya inside. After we closed it again, we had a question to ask ourselves.
Do we lock it? I hate this.
I think we should. We said we wouldn't use it anymore, so there's no reason not to. I nodded after thinking about it. Akira and Sai had taken the key when they left the bedroom, so one of the two should have still had it. If they'd traveled through time far enough to appear outside the tower, they wouldn't have appeared with it. If so, if they plan to enter once more, they should have hidden it somewhere to retrieve it easily. Nonetheless, locking it would prevent everyone else from opening it. I moved to the left side of the cabinet and crouched manually to turn the wheel.
There. Only someone with the key will be able to open it. We'll stay here, though, so that it won't happen.
She tried to move the glass and confirmed that it had locked properly. To achieve a better effect, she pulled down the curtain and proceeded to glance around the room non-comedically, unsure of what else to do.
We haven't seen Erno or Kate since we left the bedroom. Do you want to search for them before we decide to stay put?
She didn't answer. I thought she must have been considering the whereabouts of Akira and Sai, who we had to find as well, but a single word defined my assumption.
Look.
The gaze was fixated on the floor. I traced a line for a second time and spotted a drop of blood in the middle of the room.
And it's spotless again. I'm just saying, Shiroi has really weird eyes. I think. God. Okay, is my sound back?
Yeah.
My voice got cut off. Okay, we're good. We were right next to it and hadn't seen it easily. It was smaller than the one in the lobby, but there was so much more important distinction. Huh? What wasn't? Game? Okay. Okay, that was a bit of a wait there.
This one isn't that old. It's not completely dry.
Is someone walking around dripping blood? Despite what it seemed, there had to be something more to it. If what we'd seen in the lobby had been only a single drop, it must have come from a fairly serious inquiry. The one in front of us, though, didn't give the same impression. I looked all over the floor again and didn't even see another speck.
I think we should try to find the others, in case something bad has happened.
I took a good look at the blood. It wasn't fully dry like the spot in the lobby, indicating that the bleeding could have gone on for a while. That might have been the reason behind its smaller size. Small amounts of blood dry up fast. While many factors are involved, I could estimate it would take, say, 30 minutes for a bit of it to fully dry in our conditions. The spot is close to meeting that mark, while the one in the lobby had done so before we'd even seen it. How do we do it then? Does one of us stay here and make sure nobody takes the Sekimeiya?
After all, we'd considered exploring the possibility of a deliberate trap to send us out. Wasn't that ridiculous? In truth, the 2 drops of blood didn't feel very natural. Did the song change? I guess it did. I think we should do what we've been doing up until now.
By opacity. Okay.
Now, one of us stays in hallway C while the other looks through the rooms. It's unlikely anyone had an accident and bled on and off for so long. We should be careful.
For now?
I know.
I am going to unleash the curse of Ra on you.
Or should we stop here, actually? It's been like 2 hours.
It's been 2 hours and 11 minutes.
You wanna?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to stop. Methinks.
Okay, whatever. I also forgot the Neo GIF on the screen for like the past 10 minutes of the stream. This is so sad. It's fine. Nobody's gonna see this anyway. Anyway, we're done.
Isnay.
Hmm?
Isnay.
Isnay?
Isnay.
Isnay? What the fuck does that mean?
He doesn't know.
Did you say kiss me or is me?
Isnay.
What the fuck does that mean? Whatever, I'm not gonna question it. Anyway, guys, wow. What a game, right?
Bro. Atsuki died.
The illusion of free choice.
The illusion of free choice.
This game sucks. I'm never gonna play it again. We'll play it tomorrow. GG's.